August 17th is the feast of St. Clare of Montefalco, an Augustinian nun noted for her devotion to the Passion of Christ. For that reason, she is sometimes called St. Clare of the Cross. St. Clare was born in Montefalco, Italy in 1268, the second daughter of Damiano and Jacopo Vengente. While still young, she went to live with her sister Joan, who had established a community of cloistered nuns. From the beginning, little Clare observed the rule of the Third Order of St. Francis and added severe penances, keeping strict silence, taking only bread and water, and sleeping on the ground. As a young woman, she became a member of that community, professing religious vows under the rule of St. Augustine. About 8 years later, Clare and the other sisters moved to a new convent, that of Santa Croce, which had been built for them on a nearby hill. Joan was elected as the first abbess, and their small hermitage was dedicated as a monastery. A year later, on November 22nd, 1291, Joan died, and Clare was elected abbess by the bishop. At first, she refused the office, but the nuns kept insisting that only Clare was called to serve as abbess. So she reluctantly accepted. She was only 23 years old at that time. Clare was a wise abbess who governed with love and holiness. Her wisdom and holiness soon became known to people outside the monastery. Troubled persons, including bishops, priests, friars, theologians, judges, educated and illiterate alike, came seeking Clare's counsel. She helped the conversion of sinners. She reconciled families which were at odds with one another. She helped to make peace between neighboring warring towns. She drove out evils, healed the sick, and even raised the dead. During the latter part of her life, she also received the gifts of ecstasy and supernatural knowledge. She was deeply devoted to the Passion of Christ and was known to experience periods of ecstasy as she contemplated the mystery of the cross. One day, Jesus appeared before her, carrying his cross, and said, "I have been searching for a long time, daughter, to find a firm and solid place on which to plant my cross, and I have not found one more suitable than your heart. You must receive it and allow it to take root." She reached for the cross, making known her desire to help him carry it, and Jesus implanted it in her heart. The intense pain she felt in all her being upon receiving the cross in her heart remained with her. The rest of her years were spent in pain and suffering, and yet she continued to joyfully serve her fellow nuns as their abbess. Clare herself once told a sister in her convent, "If you seek the cross of Christ, take my heart. There you will find the suffering Lord." In 1303, Clare built a church in Montefalco, which served as a chapel for the nuns and a church for the town. It was blessed by the Bishop of Spoleto and was dedicated to the Holy Cross. Clare's reputation for holiness and wisdom attracted visitors to the monastery of the Holy Cross, but she continued to still govern the monastery with care. She served as abbess for 16 years, and in August 1308, she became so ill that she was bedridden. Clare made her last confession on August 17th and died in the convent on August 18th. After her death, a post-mortem examination revealed that her heart did indeed contain a representation of the cross and other symbols of Christ's suffering and death, formed from cardial muscle. Clare was canonized by Leo XIII in 1881. Her remains are at the Augustinian convent in Montefalco. The life of Clare of the Cross is a striking reminder that holiness is the work of grace and not of human effort. Nonetheless, cooperation with the work of God is indispensable for spiritual growth. For he who made us without our willing it will not save us without our willing it.